right, guys, this is exciting. This is our first intro about the new podcast we're doing to kind of like explain about who we are, what we're building, and what's the benefit of what we're building. So we have Paolo here, we have David, the underdog who beat Goliath. Paolo, do you want to share the story and who we are, what we came up with, and what we're doing here?
Yeah, definitely, Ari. Thanks for the introduction. I think this is a very diverse group. We have David over here, who's been in the business for quite some time, 15 years, I believe, in the business, dealing with the Goliaths of the world, working alongside them, learning the trade, learning the tricks. We have myself over here, new investor, just, young guy straight out of college, trying to learn the tricks. You can think of me as the David. And Ari over here as well. It's not from finance background, so all of the sophisticated tools, he doesn't know them. So that's why we came together and we decided to build this tool, right? So David over here, he gathered the knowledge. He's been in the space for a while. He knows where to look for. He knows what to look for. He knows what to look out for. And that's when he separated and he decided to start his own thing. He became the David. So we went together and built a tool that is going to help us compete with the Goliaths of the world, right? So the tool that we have over here, it helps us track a couple of things. First of all, most important one, is dilution, right? We want to know when companies are diluting, when they're issuing shares, what they're issuing shares for, and we just want to be on top of it. That's one. The other one is liquidity. We want to know if a stock is liquid, if it trades, how much it trades, if it's not trading. At the end of the day, liquidity is a risk. And low liquidity or no liquidity equals losing money. So that's something that we need to know beforehand. And the third thing is, filings, SEC filings. It's information. It's the way companies communicate with retail investors. That's the way they share information, and we need to be aware of it. We need to know the moment it is filed to make sure that we're tracking the information, that we know what's going on. And last and final one is the keywords. We need to be aware of the players in the game. Who's coming in, who's coming out, who are they getting involved with, who is getting out. We need to know. So that's why we kind of build this tool, which is pretty much a one-stop shop of all of the things we need. Beforehand, we had to look in this website, in another website, and we had to call, we had to figure it out. Some information is not available. You have to pay for it. So we decided to build this one-stop shop where we could get all the information when we wanted to, straight to our emails, however we wanted to. And that's the story. That's the reason. That's why we decided to group up our efforts, the Davids of the investment world, and go against the Goliaths. They have the Bloomberg terminals, and they have the all of the terminals you can think of, paying however much money you want to get all the information. That's why we grouped together when we built this tool, so we can go up and put up a fight against the Goliaths.
Paolo, share with us the story about the biblical story about David and Goliath. Like, where is
You're gonna put my Bible study into question.
exactly?
So pretty much the story is that there was a town and there was Goliath, a big, massive guy that he beat everyone up. Nobody could go against him. And so here comes David. He was just a regular guy. That's the key thing. Goliath was a giant, massive power, massive force. David was just a regular guy, just like you and I. Regular guy, 5'8", 5'7". He was not so muscular, but he decided to go up against Goliath, right? And people were saying that he was crazy, that he was going to get killed, that he was not going to be able to do it. But he did it, with just a slingshot. It didn't take much. It wasn't strength. It wasn't, that he went to the gym. He just knew what tool to use. What was the tool that was going to defeat Goliath? So he grabbed the slingshot and, he rocked Goliath. So what we like to think of is that our tool is a slingshot for retail investors that they're going to use to go against the Goliaths.
on the most sensitive spot, right between the eyes.
Right between the eyes.
That's what they need. Alon, what do you have to add? And I said I meant David. Big deal, big deal.
This is David here. I'm the little D. Yeah. I've been in this space for about 15 years or so. I used to work with the Goliaths of the world. This is how and why we came out with this type of toolkit, with this software. We know what to look for, what is going to help the Davids, the little Davids of the world, the you and the me and the moms and the dads and the grandparents to be able to sustain, maximize potential, minimize the risks. This is why we created the software. This is why we started. We saw what it was like out there. It's not easy. It's harsh. It's disgusting. It's unfortunate. It really is that the retail investors does not have the same capabilities that the big guy does, that the Goliaths had. And it's very, very tough to beat. If you're not first, you're last. If you do not get that information, if it's not on top, the first thing that's coming in your email box, you will not succeed. If you do not figure out a way to get the disclosure, you will not succeed. If you do not track the companies that you are invested in, the insiders, the other investors, the economic view of the company, the fundamentals of the company, there's so much that goes into investing, and that is what we created. We created a simple way for you guys to be able to track the shares outstanding for a company, if they're diluting you, the liquidity of the company, how much they're trading, and why are they trading. It isn't because they entered into a merger agreement or an acquisition, or did their FDA trials pass, or did they fail. We are able to show you why and how and what's the amount, and you can use these metrics to guide you on how you want to be able to continue investing, to not invest, to no longer invest. Everything is on, is at the button, the tip of your finger, how they say. Comes right to your email, shows you everything right there on your dashboard, customized to however you like it. We created this because it works for us. We saw what it was like back then, and we've been able to just simplify it, make us smarter. And now we can compete. And I think that's the key. That's the key to success, being able to compete. That's pretty much the interface we built.
I love it. And the podcast, the idea behind it is to educate people and to help retail investors, to help the small people, to help the underdogs. We're going to be here probably going to do this on a weekly or monthly basis to kind of like keep sharing our experience, our knowledge with the underdogs, kind of like brainstorm and get more ideas out there. So I'm excited for this. It's a project I've been wanting to work on for a very, very long time. And I'm happy to do it with David and Paolo. So I'm very excited.